in procreating with an octopus, there's actually a taxonomic group for you guys. Basically, just to quickly summarize, she is like a sea witch with magical powers, and she strikes deals with like the sea animal people, but like does them dirty. And then she takes their soul and like turns them into these like shriveled up I'm not even trying to be gross right now. I was watching the movie the other day and I'm just like, literally, what is that?
I don't know, you better stop!
She's like a full-time swindler, basically, and a part-time MUA, because why does she have a full face of makeup on? She got the eyeliner, mascara, lip gloss, lipstick, a 613 middle part bust down, and she got some acrylic nails on. Ursula is that girl. And she also has like the fattest dump truck I've ever seen. I was struggling to focus on the movie. I don't even know what the plot was. All I know is that it was huge. I mean, Ursula, whatever.
Can I get to the dance? Sweet, yes. Show me.
I struggled to watch that movie, okay? Let's start off with the communication aspect. The sleeves are coming up. I'm getting serious. I think Ursula had some pretty healthy communication, because when it came down to striking the deal with Ariel, she clearly stated, she's like, you have 3 days to get this man to kiss you while you're human, and if you don't, then you're turning back into a mermaid and I'm taking your soul. Which I guess in like sea creature language, she would turn her into a shriveled up member. Anyway, she makes this deal in exchange for Ariel's voice, and of course, because Ariel is so enamored by Eric's brick wall of a personality, she just can't resist it. I think we can all agree that that is some very straightforward communication. She may have left out the part where she was gonna take Ariel's voice for her own and then like try and overrule the kingdom, but other than that, she was literally so straightforward. She was so for real. For that reason, I am going to give I'm gonna give Ursula 2 stars. I think she deserves that. The next villain on our roster is Jafar. So this is the bad guy in Aladdin. His like main goal throughout the movie is to get the lamp with the genie inside so he can like make his 3 wishes and then rule the kingdom forever. He's kind of got this like mystical demeanor to him. It's kind of obvious based on the way he dresses, but like even the way he talks, it's very mystery boy. I don't know much about ASMR, but I feel like if the voice actor for Jafar did some ASMR and I listened to that before going to bed, I feel like I'd wake up with clear skin, crops watered. I would just be a better person. Now, unlike Ursula, Jafar, I feel like he's not really good at the communication thing, because literally within the first 5 minutes of the movie, he's already lying. Like, the first scene is him like doing a deal or like exchange with like a random, I guess, merchant or a guy. Let's call him Gojo. Basically, he has this magical object that he's trading Jafar for, and in exchange, Jafar has to give him money. Literally the first scene, Gojo has the object and he's like, okay, like, here it is. Where's my money? And this is what Jafar does.
But I got it. The treasure. No!
Trust me, my pungent friend. You'll get what's coming to you.
What's coming to you?
This guy snatched his magical object and then on top of that called him pungent.
You wanna go around the world? You wanna go around?
Any word that comes out of this man's mouth is usually a lie. I don't think that man spoke a single honest word in that movie, so I'm gonna have to give him 0 stars. I'm so sorry, Baby J. The communication wasn't there. I feel bad. The next villain we're gonna get into is Evil Queen. Out of all of these villains, I actually remembered her the least. I didn't even really know who she was or what movie she was a part of. Every time I searched up Disney villains, she would be like the face front cover of it, and I'm like, who is this woman on my screen? Anyway, the Evil Queen is the main antagonist in Snow White, and her real name is actually Grimhild. I don't know how to pronounce her name, but it's beautiful. It sounds just like an STD. So the Evil Queen basically only cares about one thing, and that is being the prettiest shawty in the land. And she has this like magic mirror that she talks to that has this internal database that like tracks how attractive the women are in the land. I feel like she wasn't that problematic. She literally was just like, as long as I'm the baddest, I'm good. Like, she literally wakes up every morning, looks in her magic mirror, and she's like, magic mirror on the wall, am I still that girl? And then the mirror like talks back and is like, yeah, you still that girl. I feel like Evil Queen was the Barb. Like she definitely knew all the lyrics to Super Bass. So when it comes down to communication, she really only talks to that magic mirror. That did raise some alarms, because I'm like, I feel like if I was dating her, I don't know who would get more of her time, me or her bedroom furniture. I would be competing with an inanimate object. Like every single day, she wakes up and she checks that mirror. Did you even check your pulse? Do you even know if you're still alive? Are your lungs working? Is your kidney failing? I wouldn't know. Like, I promise you, that girl could wake up missing like every single one of her limbs and have like sepsis, and she would still be like, let me still check that mirror to make sure I'm that girl though. But despite that, I do think that Grimmelhild will be I'm not even gonna bother saying your name anymore. I feel like she'd be a good communicator though, because I feel like villains these days always come out with these elaborate, sneaky 16-part plans, but the evil queen was so straightforward. Like, she literally just wants to be the prettiest, and other than that, like, she doesn't really have a problem with anything. And then in the movie, one day she wakes up and she's not the prettiest, so she's like, okay, I'll just take out first place. What I'm trying to say is that I feel like if I were to be in a relationship with her, I feel like the communication would come easy. Like, I wouldn't really have to question anything because she's just so to the point. I don't know, I just feel like she knows what she wants, and as someone who questions what she wants every single day, she'd be a very good partner for me. So when I was watching the movie and I was thinking about communication, I'm like, Evil Queen is she's just eating it up. So I'm gonna give her 3 stars. Don't ask for any more detail. I'm giving her 3 stars. And you can't disagree with me. That's the rules. We shook on that. We didn't shake, but we're shaking now. You have to agree with me, okay? Okay, finally we're gonna talk about Gaston. So he's like the main antagonist in Beauty and the Beast. He's basically toxic masculinity personified. I don't know if they had that term like circulating in 1991, but they were definitely ahead of their time. He also kind of reminded me of Evil Queen because, once again, I feel like he was so straightforward. Most of the time, the things that came out of his mouth were on the more rude and conceited and arrogant side. But then when you think about it, technically he's just very transparent. Take that trait and put it in a relationship. It's beneficial. Like, I would never have to worry about him hiding things from me, because whatever thought that enters that man's mind, it's definitely articulated, which is good. That is good. That's what we want. I think he deserves 1 star. At least 1 star. Okay, do we agree with this communication ranking? You actually don't have a choice. So moving on. Okay, new trait, empty tier. We're gonna start with Ursula again. I feel like there weren't really any scenes in the movie that really showed her like open-mindedness and understanding, but hear me out. I know y'all hate when I say hear me out. I hate it too. So early in the movie, we get introduced to her like collection of poor, unfortunate souls, but I think that collection of like members is basically everybody who has made a bad deal with her and had to give her soul. And that was just a little group of them. She probably has like hundreds or even thousands of people that have made bad deals with her, and now she owns their soul, which got me thinking, you have to be at a certain level of desperation if you're gonna go to a sea witch to grant your wish. That means that whatever desires you had outweighed the cost of getting them. That's why you pulled up to Ursula in the first place, right? But then we have to ask ourselves, what kind of deep desires did these people have? Do y'all think these sea animals are innocent? How many of them do you think pulled up to Ursula and was like, yo, Ursula, I'm gonna need that BBL special, and I want a new set of double D's, and I also want a nose job. And Ursula had to sit there and be like, girl, you are a sea urchin. What you need a BBL for?
Everybody look to the left. Everybody look to the right.
She had to sit there and play Dr. Miami with these sea creatures that practically rejected her from society, but then pulled up on her because, oh, I need you to grant my wish. A little unfair, I think. Because what do you mean you're pulling up to her dungeon making requests? And then every time it happens, Ursula just has to be like, I'll see what I can do. Bro, I just feel like she has to be so open-minded and understanding to be taking these wishes from people. Because I'm like, I just know one of the mermaids has some raunchy wishes and desires. And the whole time Ursula has to be like, bibbidi bobbidi boo, let me see what I can work up for you. So for that reason, and also because I am the biggest Ursula stan there is, I have to give her 3 stars. I'm sorry, she deserves it. I would give her 5 if I could. Next is Jafar. So his understanding wasn't really there. It was actually absent. I don't want to just sit here and judge him, but the man looks petty. Jafar is the type of guy to leave me undelivered for like 2 weeks, and then when I bring it up to him in person, he would just look at me dead in the face and be like, that man would definitely gaslight me. Like, he just gives me the impression that he doesn't care about anything unless it benefits him. He wouldn't even act like he cares about your opinion. He would sit there and just judge you with that scowl on his face. I just feel like he would bully me for some reason, but maybe that could be like a little enemies to lovers. Okay, no. I'm gonna give Jafar 0 stars. The next villain for understanding is Evil Queen. Now, when I was watching this movie, once again, I had to do some critical thinking because they don't really show scenes of them like being understanding and open-minded and all that stuff. Also, I feel like in the movie, she barely had any scenes. Evil Queen kind of gives me the vibe that she's like used to getting what she wants. I don't know like her family backstory and history, but she was giving me spoiled only child vibes. Cause think about it, she literally woke up one day, she checked her mirror and she's like, mirror, mirror on the wall, am I still the prettiest of them all? And the mirror is like, no, actually, there's somebody who's actually prettier than you. And then Evil Queen was like, okay, I'll just kill her. What? Babes, she's 14. What do you mean? Like, that's why when